Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Simcha gedola, lion lion besimcha. Simcha gedola, lion lion besimcha. Simcha gedola, lion lion besimcha.
Breakfast with Elli.
Mode ani lefanecha melech chai bekayam shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla Rabba emunatecha.
Herschel, how do you never get cold? Yid is warm. And Shama is warm and the Guf is warm.
That's right.
How do you make the Neshama warm? Or how do you reveal that it's already warm?
We leave it up to Hashem.
So you could stay in bed all day.
I'm bad. We stay in bed is
Leave it
very
up to
bad.
Hashem.
To stay in bed is very bad.
So how, or does it mean leave it up to Hashem?
Leave it up to Hashem that you have a munah in him. And
still need
and you'll understand exactly what he wants from us.
L'chaim.
Good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Elli. It is Thursday, the 14th of November, the 13th of MarCheshvan, 5785. The Torah portion is Vayera, HaYom, Yom, Chamishi l'Shabbos, counting up towards Shabbos. I'll be learning the fifth Aliyah. Good morning. I am late. Yes, I know. I'm 40 minutes late. But that's because I had streaming issues, and now Baruch Hashem, they helped me out, and I am live again, streaming on all platforms except the Actors Rabbi, because apparently I don't have enough followers. I'm not sure what the reason is yet. I gotta figure that out. But Facebook pages, I think you have to have a certain amount of followers to go live. All right. Since we are very, very much behind, let us begin our morning davening. Men and boys, you two front sitters, everybody else join afterwards.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvat tzitzit. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al divrei Torah. Hareini mekabel alai mitzvat aseh shel ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I take upon myself every single day to love my fellow friend in a very special way.
Torah, 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 Tziva lanu Moshe, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Morasha kehilas Yaakov, Torah, Tziva lanu Moshe.
All right.
I put it in the pushki for someone
else
to keep. Yeah, I put it in the pushki that's a tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki that's a tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else in need.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, time to say the Shema. Let's go. Cover your eyes.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
Baruch Shem kevod malchuto leolam vaed.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha vehayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha HaYom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
All right, so we are now saying a bracha shahakol. Hold a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this one should be the Dvar Torah. All right, shahakol. And we have coffee and yogurt this morning. Here's my yogurt. And we're making a bracha shahakol. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shahakol nehiyah bidvaroi.
Coffee, blessed coffee. God bless you for being a friend. When the whole world turns on me, it's only you on which I can depend. I want to taste you in the morning and a few times throughout the day. Yes, a cup or two in the evening too. For me, it's the only way. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. And that, you know what, we're actually gonna skip today in Jewish history and go right to HaYom Yom. We are really, really behind. The 13th day of KOSHER.
I'm sure you've seen disclaimers like this on emails that you get. All information in this email, including attachments, is strictly confidential and intended solely for delivery to and authorized use by the addressees identified above. If you are not the intended recipient, and on and on and on. Why do people put this stuff at the end of their emails? Because your lawyer will advise you that if you communicate a message to somebody and that person then forwards that message to a third party, that could ultimately come back to hurt you. Today's HaYom Yom presents us with some good advice, something to think about before you hit send on that email and before you even open up your mouth. Says today's HaYom Yom, the Baal Shem Tov used to teach his disciples a shir of Gemara. He would study Talmud with his disciples regularly. The Baal Shem Tov's style of study was very sharp, and the presentation of the Gemara and the commentaries was with great brilliance. When they reached the segment, the passage of the Gemara that discusses Lashon Hara, slander, the Baal Shem Tov explained the following. He said, based on the Gemara, he says, after hearing slander, after hearing gossip, when you go ahead, or when somebody goes ahead and repeats that gossip to a third party, this has negative influence. The Baal Shem Tov calls it spiritual death. You inflict spiritual death upon three parties. So when somebody repeats slander that they've heard in the past to another person, the spiritual death comes to three people. The person who repeats that gossip, the person listening to the gossip, and also the author, the person who originally produced that gossip. It reflects badly. Those extremely negative consequences reflect back on that person too. So if you send a message or say something not nice, even though once you send it, once you say it, it's no longer in your domain. You no longer have control of if and how many times that message gets passed along again and again and again, but that doesn't matter. Even though it's out of your domain in the sense that you can no longer control that information. It's now out there, but it's still very much tethered to you in the sense that every time it gets passed along, that sense of responsibility, that negative energy reflects back at you again and again and again. Now, I'm thinking that the same would hold true for the positive as well. So if you send out a tweet or an email with a positive, inspiring Torah message, for example, and then whoever received that message from you then forwards it, passes it along to another person and another person, another person. Before you know it, it goes viral. Every time another person studies or learns something or is inspired to do something good, even though it's indirect, right? You don't even know that person, just by virtue of the fact that it comes as a chain effect from something that you started, it's always tethered to you. And somebody on the other side of the world that you don't even know can learn something or do something positive, and that positive energy and the blessings associated with that mitzvah reflect back on you.
Yep. Ain't it great? A word from our sponsors.
And now, a word from our sponsors. PestProRidol.com.
PestProRidol.com. Trusted by the best to keep away the pests. We are offering COVID-19 disinfection services. Mention this ad and get 1 month free service. Visit us at PestProRidol.com.
Tarzane Group. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Go to tarzanegroup.com or call Tomas at 305-440-0565. That's 305-440-0565 and order today. Visit Tomas and Yair at tarzanegroup.com. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Beautiful in your home. Go to the website and read Tomas's orchid blog. And by Dina D Design. DinaDDesign@gmail.com. Fine artwork, custom made to your specifications, logos, wall hangings, Judaica, and you can even have something for your child's room. Dina D Designs. Go to her Facebook or Instagram or call or text. Thank you very much to our sponsors. If you'd like to become a sponsor, please go right up here to where it says patreon.com/theactorsrabbi, and you can contribute even only $1 a month if you'd like, but that'll help us bring this broadcast to you on a daily basis and cover our expenses. Be sure to thank your sponsors when shopping and mention Breakfast with Elli when you're shopping there. There might be discounts. Thanks for watching.
Helping lots of people any way we can. Tzedakah is the Jewish way to help your fellow man.
All right, patreon.com/theactorsrabbi or breakfastwithelli.live/new-computer. If you'd like to help us pay for this brand new computer that we have, I told you there would be a couple of glitches in getting it up and running, but it is up and running, and we are very, very thankful and happy. Those of you who have contributed already, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Those of you who have it, please go to breakfastwithelli.live/new-computer or click on this handy QR code today and make your donation, even if it's only a little bit, even if you can only afford, $10 or $20 or 25 or 36 or 18 or whatever it is, you can help us out, and we appreciate every penny that comes in. All right. Parshas Vayera, Rabbi Sachs, Covenant and Conversation.
that they would have many descendants, as many as the... It's the hardest passage of all, one that seems to defy understanding. Abraham and Sarah have waited years for a child. God has promised them repeatedly that they would have many descendants, as many as the stars of the sky, the dust of the earth, the sand grains on the seashore. They wait. No child comes. Sarah, in despair, suggests that Avram should have a child by her handmaid Hagar. He does. Ishmael is born. Yet God tells Abraham, this is not the one. By now Sarah is old, postmenopausal, unable by any natural means to have a child. Angels come, and again they promise a child. Sarah laughs, but a year later Yitzchak is born. Sarah's joy is almost heartbreaking. Sarah said, God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. And she added, who would have said to Avram that Sarah would nurse children? Yet I have borne him a son in his old age. And then come the fateful words. Then God said, take your son, your only son, Yitzchak, whom you love, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains I'll tell you about. The rest of the story is familiar. Abraham takes Yitzchak together. They journey for 3 days to the mountain. Abraham builds an altar, gathers wood, binds his son, and lifts the knife. And at that moment, the angel of the Lord called out to him from heaven, Abraham, Abraham, here I am, he replied. Don't lay a hand on the boy, says the angel. Don't do anything to him. Now I know that you'll fear God, because you have not withheld from me your son, your only son. The trial is over. It's the climax of Avram's life, the supreme test of faith, a key moment in Jewish memory and self-definition. But it's deeply troubling. Why did God so nearly take away what he had given? Why did he put these two aged parents, Avram and Sarah, through so appalling a test? Why did Avram, who had earlier challenged God on the fate of Sodom, saying, shall the judge of all the earth not do justly, not protest against this cruel act against an innocent child? The standard interpretation given by all the commentators, classical and modern, is that Avram demonstrates his total love of God by being willing to sacrifice the most precious thing in his life, the child whom he'd been waiting for so many years. The Christian theologian Soren Kierkegaard wrote a powerful book about it, Fear and Trembling, in which he coined such ideas as the teleological suspension of the ethical, that the idea that God may lead us, out of love of God, we may do things that would normally be considered morally wrong. And also Kierkegaard used the idea of faith in the absurd. Avram trusted God to make the impossible possible. He believed he'd lose Isaac, but still keep him. For Kierkegaard, faith transcends reason. Harav Yosef Soloveitchik saw the binding as demonstrating that we must not always expect to be victorious. Sometimes we have to experience defeat. God tells man to withdraw from whatever man desires the most, said Rav Soloveitchik. All these interpretations are surely correct. They're part of our tradition. But I want to offer a quite different reading for one reason. Namely, throughout Tanakh, the gravest sin of all is child sacrifice. The Torah and the prophets consistently regard it with horror. It's what pagans do. This is what the prophet Jeremiah says about it. They've built the high places of Baal to burn their sons in the fire as offerings to Baal, something I did not command or mention, nor did it enter my mind. And this is the prophet Micha. Shall I offer my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? Child sacrifice is what Mesha, king of Moab, does to get the gods to grant him victory over the Israelites. This is what the Torah says. When the king of Moab saw that the battle had gone against him, he took with him 700 swordsmen to break through to the king of Edom, but they failed. Then he took his firstborn son, who was to succeed him as king, and offered him as a sacrifice on the city wall. The fury against Israel was great. They withdrew and returned to their own land. That's what the Moabite king does, the idolater. So how can the Torah regard Abraham's supreme achievement that he was willing to do what the worst of idolaters do? The fact that Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son would seem to make him, in terms of Tanakh considered as a whole, no better than a worshipper of Baal or Moloch or the pagan king of Moab. This cannot be the only possible interpretation. There is another way of looking at the trial. And to do so, we have to consider an overriding theme of the Torah as a whole. Let's first assemble the evidence. First principle, God owns the land of Israel. That's why he can command the return of property to its original owners in the Jubilee year. The Torah says the land must not be sold in perpetuity because the land is mine, and you are but temporary residents and my tenants. Second principle, God owns the children of Israel since he redeemed them from slavery. That's what the Israelites meant when they sing at the Red Sea, Ad Yavor, until your people pass by, O Lord, until the people you have acquired, Amzukanita, pass by. Because God owns the Israelites, they cannot be turned into permanent slaves, owned by someone else. Says the Torah, because the Israelites are my servants whom I brought out of Egypt, they must not be sold as slaves. Third principle, God is the ultimate owner of all that exists. That's why we have to make a blessing, a bracha, over everything we enjoy. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, to enjoy anything of this world without first reciting a blessing is like making personal use of consecrated things, since it says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Rav Levi contrasted two texts. One says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and the other says the heavens are the heavens of the Lord, but the earth he has given to the children of men. Said Rav Levi, there is no contradiction. One case it refers to before you make a bracha, a blessing, and the other one refers to after a blessing. What the Gemara is telling us is that all things belong to God, and we have to acknowledge this before we make personal use of anything. That's what a blessing is, acknowledging that all we have, all we enjoy is from God. All these principles are the jurisprudential basis of Jewish law. God rules by right, not by might. God created the universe, therefore God is the ultimate owner of the universe. The legal term for this is the law of eminent domain, which means the ultimate owner is the sovereign power. And therefore, God is entitled, as owner of the universe, to prescribe the conditions under which we may benefit from the universe.
And we will stop there for today. Continue with God willing tomorrow. All right? In the fifth Aliyah, the child Yitzchak grew. And Sarah noticed that Ishmael, Yitzchak's older half-brother, was a potentially negative influence on her young child. So she demanded Avram expel Ishmael along with Hagar, his mother, from the household. Despite Avram's initial misgivings, Hashem tells Avram, whatever Sarah tells you, listen to her. Hagar and Ishmael wander in the desert and eventually run out of water. Ishmael was about to perish from thirst when an angel opened Hagar's eyes and showed her a well of water. Ishmael lived, grew up in the desert, and became a skilled archer. Chumash and Rashi with Rabbi Aftzin is next. Sorry about that. Rabbi Epstein is up. So that's software. Running hot.
Parsha points Vayera for Thursday. Happy wife, happy life. Too bad nothing rhymes with husband. Come on, is every wife innately wiser than her husband? Should you always listen to your wife? Perhaps herein is the message. When a man chooses his wife, he has chosen his path. He is going to listen to the wife that he chose. So when you choose wisely, or better yet, choose wifely. That choice and that decision will dictate your life from that point forward.
Alexa, turn on bedroom AC. All right. Saying of Tehillim, so vitally important. Saying chapters 23 and 123 today.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי.
Alexa, turn on bedroom AC.
בינוס תשע, ירביצני, על מי מנוחוס ינהלני, נפשי שובב, ינחני ומעגלי צדק, למען שמו.
Alexa, bedroom AC on.
יצל מובס, לא ירא, כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני. תערוך לפניי שולחן נגד צורריי, תשענת ושמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני. כל ימי חיי ושבתי בביס אדוני לאורך ימים.
שרמלס ולך נסוסי יסעיני הישבי בשמיים הנה יעבוד עם היד עד עיניהם כי הנה שבך יד כבדו
All right, Tanya for the day. Here we go.
And your thoughts for the 13th of MarCheshvan. The Talmud speaks in the current tense. Omer Rabbah. Rabbah says. Why isn't it Rabbah said? I mean, he said it centuries ago. Because when we're studying the teachings of Rabbah and all those whose lives were only about their spiritual message, and when we're saying it now, when we're studying their teachings, following their guidance, they are saying it now. They're alive within our thoughts, our love, and our practice.
Let's talk, Tanya, for the 12th of Cheshvan of a leap year. So we are continuing the condolence letter, which we began yesterday, that the Alter Rebbe wrote to the Chassidim after the passing of Menachem Mendel of Haraduk. And in yesterday's Tanya, the Alter Rebbe explained that the life of a tzaddik is a spiritual life, and therefore that's a life that does not conclude after the soul leaves the body. And those who are connected to the tzaddik can continue to connect to the tzaddik after the passing of the tzaddik to the spiritual life of the tzaddik and continue to be impacted by the tzaddik. And with this, the Alter Rebbe introduces a saying from the Zohar. The Zohar tells us, "Tzadika di ispater ishtakach bekulu almi yater mibechayohi," which means that a tzaddik who passes away is present in all the worlds, even more so than during their lifetime. And the obvious question is, you're telling me that the tzaddik is more present in the higher worlds than the tzaddik was before they passed away. I get that. The tzaddik now is primarily, you can argue, in the higher worlds, in Gan Eden. Even if you want to tell me that the tzaddik still remains over here in this world, because the tzaddik's life is a spiritual life, and even those down here in this world can still continue to connect to the tzaddik and be impacted by the tzaddik, okay, I can buy that also. But here we're saying that the tzaddik is more present in all the worlds, which includes our world, our physical world, more so than during the lifetime of the tzaddik. How does that work? And the Alter Rebbe says, because after the tzaddik passes away, we continue to connect to the tzaddik, and we continue to be impacted by the tzaddik. And every single one of us who was impacted by the tzaddik, we are like the tzaddik planted, we are the harvest, we are the trees, we are the fruit. And then, when using the inspiration that we receive from our connection to the tzaddik, we go and we impact other Jews, other people, and get other people to study Torah, other people to do mitzvahs, other people to go in the pathway of that tzaddik, then the tzaddik is even more present in this world. The tzaddik's impact is even more profound and strong in this world than it was even before the tzaddik's soul departed this world. This is in terms of the spiritual connection to a tzaddik. The Alter Rebbe is reassuring the Chassidim, your spiritual connection remains just as it was before. In fact, maybe even the impact of the tzaddik here in this world is even stronger than beforehand. But there's another aspect to the Rebbe-Chassid relationship, and that is that we know that when a Chassid is in distress, the Chassid turns to the Rebbe and says, Rebbe, please give me a bracha, please bless me, please daven on my behalf, pray on my behalf. But now the Rebbe is not here. So what now? So the Rebbe says in that area also, you need not worry. The Zohar tells us that tzaddikim, after they pass away, they continue to protect this world with their prayers. In fact, the Zohar tells us that if not for the prayers of the tzaddikim who have already passed on, this world would not be able to exist even for one moment. So, both in terms of the spiritual connection that carries on, we can rest assured that the Rebbe tells us Chassidim that the Rebbe even now is continuing to pray on your behalf, and therefore, obviously, it doesn't mean that the Chassidim are fine or happy with the current situation, but at least they should know that their connection to the Rebbe and everything that the Rebbe had done beforehand, both of those continue. With this, we've concluded the letter the Alter Rebbe wrote to the Chassidim. In tomorrow's Tanya, we begin a biur, an explanation on this. The Alter Rebbe actually penned an explanation or an elaboration on the ideas that he wrote in this letter.
All right. Sefer HaMitzvos of the Rambam.
No, it's not impossible that Rebbe did say. Just study Rambam each and every day. I'll never miss my daily Rambam. My Rebbe so desires. I'm not busy or too tired. When I learn Rambam's connected, I remain. I am a link in the Rebbe's golden chain.
All right. Here we go.
Baruch Hashem, it is day number 233 of our daily study of Rambam Sefer HaMitzvos. And in the 3 chapters of Mishnah Torah, we are continuing in Hilchas Kalim, the laws of vessels, different types of vessels that can receive impurity, chapters 12, 13, and 14. And as mentioned, there are no specific new mitzvahs, meaning mitzvahs that we haven't yet learned, that are connected with these laws. These laws are not talking about any new types of impurity that we haven't yet learned. It's just talking about what types of implements, articles, vessels can receive the types of impurity that we've already studied. So it's a review. It's a refresher course. Positive commandment 99 is the impurity imparted by a menstruating woman, what we call a nida, a woman who has menstruated. And that's a form of ritual impurity. And we've learned this in the past. If you want to go hear more about that, you can go back to when we learned that. Which day did we learn it? I don't know. I didn't look it up, but you could figure it out. And this is what we're doing. We're just reviewing all the different types of impurity. Okay, great. We will see you tomorrow for more, God willing.
Today we learn another prohibition which in effect falls under the category of robbing. This is negative mitzvah 247, which is the prohibition to withhold someone's property that rightfully belongs to him. This could take on a number of forms. This could be if a person deposited an object by you and you refuse to return it. That's a form of robbery. If a person is owed a salary by you because he did some work for you and you say, I'm not paying you, that's a form of oshek, of today's negative prohibition of robbing by withholding property that rightfully belongs to a fellow. The reason this is referred to as gezela and not geneva is based on the distinction we learned yesterday. Geneva is secretly taking away someone's possessions. Here you're brazenly saying in the open, I'm not giving you back what belongs to you. Therefore you're called gezela, robbery in broad daylight.
All right, matters of Mashiach.
והוא גואלנו, והוא גואלנו, משיח צדקנו, הרבי מלובביץ' מלך המשיח, הרבי מלובביץ'.
There's something in Chassidus called the Yechida. The Yechida means the singularity, and it refers to the essence of the soul, and that emerges through overcoming tests and obstacles. When the Yechida is revealed, the essence of one's soul, then the animal soul unveils its inherent godliness. We have an animal soul and a godly soul. The expression is in the intensity with which one fulfills Torah and does mitzvahs, with an inner enthusiasm, a sense of great delight, and tremendous pleasure in serving Hashem. Furthermore, all worldly matters are no longer obstacles because yes and no are of absolute equal. The delight in and the appetite for material things will be gone once we reveal the Yechida. By overcoming the tests that Hashem gives us and that life gives us, we graduate from our galut, from our exile, and achieve personal geula, redemption. Everything in life becomes an opportunity for growth, and there are no longer any obstacles, only challenges to spur us on. Think about that. Yeah. Only challenges. You've heard it before. People talk about obstacles being challenges. Well, that's what Torah tells us too. All right. Bringing some heaven down to earth would be a good idea at this point, right? Here we go. Excuse me. Perpetual cold. All right. If you look deeply, you'll see that the Torah doesn't know of man and woman as separate beings. Each act is performed once through a single body. A body that in our world may appear as two, but to the Torah, it only sees it as one, the guf, a person's body. On the contrary, for both to do that same mitzvah would be redundant. Why should one half of the body do what the other has already done? They are a single whole, whether they know of one another or not. And that's why they say that when you get married, you are just joining the other half of your neshama, the other half of your soul, which has already been decided. So let's talk about that on social media. Any of the Actors Rabbis groups at Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube. Blue Sky is up there now too, by the way. I should add that in there. What is my Blue Sky? Anybody know offhand? I think I posted it before. Yes. All right, I'm going to put it up there right. Hold on. And that is in 18-point type. And that's going to be in green. All right. At Blue Sky Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, theactorsrabbi.com, where you can sign up for life coaching services and sign our mailing list, and let's make an after bracha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei nefashos rabos v'chesronan al kol ma shebarasa lachayos bohem nefesh kol chai baruch chei haolamim.
All right, thank you for being here. Thank you to my Patreon sponsors, Pest Pervit, All Tarzan, Orchid, Nina D Design, Bracha Biederman, Avi G, Reza Musavi, Ruthie, Jennifer, and our anonymous donor. If you would like to participate and help us pay for this brand new computer that we got, go to this handy QR code right over here, right here, QR code. All right, go to breakfastvalley.live/new computer or patreon.com/theactorsrabbi and contribute. Help us pay for the new computer that we got. It is a doozy. I absolutely positively love it. It's gorgeous, and it is it's running really nicely so far. Yeah. All right. Alex Clare released an album yesterday, and we're going to play Rebuild Again, first cut from the album. So enjoy that. Today is the 13th day of Cheshvan. Tomorrow is the 14th day, Erev Shabbos, and we've got a lot to finish up, so maybe give some extra tzedakah today, and in the words of Rabbi Isaac Halmer, have affection for a fellow. Hashem will have affection for you. Do a kindness for a fellow. Hashem will do a kindness for you. Draw a fellow close, and Hashem will draw you close to him. Go out, make it a great and glorious day. Be the reason someone smiles. Thank you for being here. Even though I know you came in late, this will repeat on most platforms. All right? Have a great day, and I will talk to you, God willing, tomorrow. Bye-bye.
ציון תמלא ושם נשיר שיר חדש וברננה נעלה ייבנה המקדש ציון תמלא ושם נשיר שיר חדש וברננה נעלה. Oh, we'll rebuild again, we'll rebuild again, yes we'll rebuild again. Oh, we will rebuild again, yes we'll rebuild again. We will rebuild again. ייבנה המקדש, ציון תמלא ושם נשיר שיר חדש וברננה נעלה. ייבנה המקדש, ציון תמלא ושם נשיר שיר חדש וברננה נעלה. Rebuild again. Bring them home, bring them home. We've been praying for so long, so Abba, please bring them home. Bring them home, please bring them home. We've been praying for so long, so Abba, please bring them home. We're coming home, we're almost home.